All right. What do I say about our second speaker, right? The minute I met her today in this meeting earlier, I must say I was blown. The way she pronounced my name, the way she said namaste, hegidira, I think I was flown. I was flown endlessly. How well she's sort of got into our culture and understood how we work. I mean, I must say I was extremely delighted to listen to all those wonderful Kannada words that you just told me this earlier evening. I must say that was wonderful, distinguished Toastmaster Alicia Curtis. So, to talk about this eminent personality, well, there's a huge list. Get ready for it. She has won the Best Area Director of the Year in the year 2015-2016, Best Division Director of the Year 2019-2020, District Director Award of the Year 2020-2021, and also Triple Crown of Educational Awards in Australia, Indonesia, Korea, and the United States of America. She also chartered and mentored the first Open Community Toastmasters Club in 2015. It was the Dhaka Club in Bangladesh. What else? What else have we got from this eminent personality? She's finished about 8 out of the 11 pathways in the new system. She's about to achieve the double DTM status as well. She's already a distinguished Toastmaster. And she's the current Program Quality Director for District 100. What an absolute honor we have to have distinguished Toastmaster Alicia Curtis with us this evening. Welcome to District 121, distinguished Toastmaster Alicia Curtis. What a pleasure we have. And here we have distinguished Toastmaster Alicia Curtis to talk about how to make the best of pathways. Over to you.
Thank you very much. So namaskara, hegadira, dhanyavada. Yes, I am back in India again tonight. Do you remember if you were Toastmasters 5 years ago when Pathways actually launched? It launched exactly 5 years ago. And I remember it. It was in November of 2017 that it launched here in Sydney, Australia. I was a member of District 90 at the time. Some people were going, I don't want to be a part of it. But I said, yes, I can't wait to be a part of it. And it was my goal to achieve the first level in Pathways in that district. Not only did I achieve the first level 1 in Pathways in District 90, I went on to achieve level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and was the first person in District 90 to do so. And I became obsessed with Pathways after that. So it is my pleasure tonight to present to all of you in District 121 in Bangalore this wonderful presentation on Pathways. So sit back, relax, and let's enjoy the show. And if you've got any questions, I do ask that you leave them to the last moment. We will have participation throughout the presentation, and I want a bit of a thumbs up. Mr. Samarth, can you see me on the screen? Fantastic. All right, let me go and let's get ready. So welcome to Pathways, folks, and I'm really excited to present this for all of you tonight. So what is Pathways? Now, if you're, I'm not sure of the level of our members here tonight, so I'm going to give you a bit of a brief introduction. So Toastmasters Pathways is the learning experience. It's an exciting one. It's flexible, it's interactive to develop your skills and also help others in their club to develop skills. It's about communication and leadership skills that you need to succeed, both in Toastmasters, but also outside of the circle in your personal life, whether it be professional or something that you're doing personally. What I love about Pathways is it has 300 unique competencies, 11 specialized learning paths, online content, real-world transferable skills, and content available in multiple language. And I've put the ones here that would be referenced for you guys in District 121, English and also Tamil. So if you want to have those particular paths, you can get them all in English and some select paths in Tamil. Now, I want to see how many of you are confident with your understanding of Pathways. So in the chat box, if you can say you're a rock star or you're still learning. So just put rock star or learning. How are we with our level of skill in Pathways? Please be honest. I'm loving this. Everyone is learning. I love it. Thank you. I think no one is a rock star in Toastmasters Pathways. I don't think I am a rock star in Pathways. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. I'm still learning. In fact, when the new path came out last year for level 1, I went back and bought another path just so that I could learn and develop the skills in level 1, because I do not think I'm a rock star. I don't think anyone is a rock star. So yes, it's great to hear that we're all learning. And yes, we do want to be a rock star at the end of this experience. So I want to break down each pathway, and I'm not going to have all of it listed here on the screen, but here are the learning paths: dynamic leadership, effective coaching, engaging humor, innovative planning, leadership development, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, presentation mastery, visionary communication, strategic relationships, and team collaboration. I'm not going to have them all listed on the screen because that would be death by PowerPoint, but I'm going to go through them briefly, exactly what they're targeting, and the ones that I would recommend if you're looking for leadership versus the communication track. So we'll start with the dynamic leadership path. So that's about building your skills as a strategic leader. So this focuses on understanding your leadership and communication styles and dealing with conflict in a group, and also skills needed to diffuse and direct the conflict. One of the things I like about this is it emphasizes the development of strategies to facilitate change in an organization or a group. Now, it's a wonderful path, and I have been able to complete this path, and I personally rank this one of my favorites and a 4 out of 5. The next one is effective coaching. So this is a difficult one, and I will admit to it. I'm actually up to level 5 now with it. But what I enjoy about it is it develops the skills as a positive communicator and leader. So the projects on this path focus on understanding and building consensus, contributing to the development of others by coaching and establishing strong public speaking skills. Now, this is one of the required paths where you have to complete a high performance leadership project. There's actually 3 of them, and I will point them out for each of the paths. The next one is engaging humor, and this is our latest and newest one. So hopefully we will get additional paths in the future, but this is the latest one and was probably introduced about 18 months ago. It's designed to help the skills of building you as a humorous speaker and an engaging public speaker. So it focuses on your sense of humor and how that sense of humor can translate to engaging an audience. So it includes challenging situations and making sure that you focus on that humor. The next one is innovative planning, and like effective coaching, it does have the compulsory requirement of completing the high performance leadership project, and they are to be completed in level 5. Now, innovative planning is about building your skills as a public speaker and leader. This project is focusing on developing a strong connection with the audience members when you present to them. So that's a bit about innovative planning. The next one is leadership development. And again, this is actually one of my favorite paths. In fact, I rate it a number 5 because this is the one that helped me progress from area director to division director. It was a wonderful task of being able to complete this. So it focuses on you, again, on being a communicator and leader, and very much implementing how to time manage. Now, I'm sure many of us who've been leaders in Toastmasters are learning how we manage our time. And this is one of the great parts of this particular path. So it emphasizes this as both public speaking, leading a team, and how you manage your time from levels 1 to level 5. Motivational strategies is another path. And this is another path I've completed, and it was one of my favorite ones. So it's probably 3 of them that were my favorites. And this is definitely up there as one of my favorites. And it's about building yourself as a powerful speaker and communicator. So it's about building connections with the people around you and understanding the motivation that you can get them to be a part of as a team. So it's a team building project, and it has a lot of team building projects once you get to levels 4 and level 5. The next one is persuasive influence. So this is the 3rd path where you are required to complete by compulsory requirement to complete in level 5, the high performance leadership project. And it's also, again, about building your skills as an innovative communicator and being able to persuade your audience, whether it be the speaking side or the leadership side, as a persuasive speaker. And it emphasizes developing the leadership skills to deliver and to develop in those complex situations. So it's about creating innovative solutions to get yourself through the challenges. Now, the next one is definitely my favorite, presentation mastery. And this is the one I would recommend for all members, all new members. And the reason for that is a lot of our new members come into Pathways or into Toastmasters. And when they do Pathways, they're here for presentation and communication skills. This is all about becoming an accomplished speaker, working from level 1, where you're learning and developing, to becoming a proficient speaker at the end. So it teaches you how to write and develop a speech, and also contributes to your understanding of becoming a public speaker. Strategic relationships. This is my favorite path in all of Pathways. And the reason for that, it's about getting out there, developing yourself as a communicator, but also focusing on how you can use public relations and networking yourself. Now, as an extrovert, this path was absolutely up my alley. And I enjoyed it because I actually had to go to a networking session to develop those skills. So that is my favorite path. Team collaboration was the next one. And what I liked about team collaboration was it was about building yourself as a collaborative speaker and leader. So it focuses on active listening, motivating others, and collaborating with a team. And the final one is visionary communication. So this path helps you to become a strategic communicator and leader, and to create innovative solutions from levels 1 to level 5. So I just want to hear, does everyone understand that in regards to Pathways? It's a bit of a brief rundown of what each of these paths is about. So we're going to go through by level, because I think a lot of people misunderstand with each of the levels. So first we'll start with level 1, and this is about the basic fundamentals of mastering the fundamentals. So it's about understanding the basics and the need to be a public speaker and evaluator. So this level sees our members focus on speech writing, delivery, as well as receiving and applying and delivering the feedback. Level 1 is identical across all paths, across all 11 paths, and literally it contains these projects: the icebreaker, which is 4 to 6 minutes, writing a speech with a purpose, introduction to vocal variety and body language, as well as evaluation feedback. Now, I need to point out in the evaluation feedback, it is the 2 speeches. So if we look at this path and break it down, or in this level, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we've actually got 6 projects that need to be completed in this particular level. So this replaces from level 1 from last year. It was August of 2021 at the International Convention that they announced the changes, and this came into effect in October of 2021. So for anyone that had new path, purchased a new path, or a new member who joined from October, this is the new level that you have to complete. Level 2 was about learning your style. Now, this again has changed also from last year, from October of 2021. It used to actually only have 3 of these. And it was usually active listening, understanding your leadership style, understanding your communication style, and also the compulsory element of introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. So this is about, I guess, your preference or understanding who you are as a leader and communicator, and also basic structure of what a Pathways mentor program is. So that comes into place usually between levels 3 and level 4, it unlocks. So this is a wonderful path, and a lot of people get confused in this level, but I think now that there's a little bit of dynamic introduction into this level, I believe it actually has opened up a lot more for people for level 2. So it's about learning your style. And this is actually my favorite level in all of Pathways, because it shows me as both a communicator, a leader, and it puts me out of the box, out of my comfort zone, and out of our comfort zones in being that we need to be vulnerable. And that's something that I think we need to start taking ownership of. Let's share our vulnerability here today and at our clubs. Now we got to level 3, and this is where it starts to become a little bit more complicated, but you also get a little bit more option here. This is where we get to have the elective projects. So level 3, you usually have 1 compulsory project, and then you've got a minimum of 2 elective projects, and they address their goals. That's you as the member get to choose from a variety of topics, and there are a wonderful group of topics that you can choose from. So you can do things like storytelling, inspiring your audience, learning how to use visual aids, there is a plethora of opportunity in this. And it's a wonderful opportunity as well if you are trying to deliver a speech, for example, for your international speech contest. This is where you can actually go really wild, like level 1 as well. But this is a really good option here, especially in the 2 elective projects on how you want to deliver your speech. Again, level 3 contains 3 projects minimum, 1 compulsory and 2 which are electives. Then we get to level 4. This is where we start to build our skills. So we've developed ourselves as learning in level 1. 2, we're starting to grow and grasp the idea of how we're becoming effective communicators and leaders. And then level 3, we're starting to explore ourselves with writing in particular format, whether it be storytelling, inspirational speeches, there to inform. And now we're coming to the level 4, which is a little bit more difficult, but it also gives us those skills to develop and to succeed in the past. So this is where you have the opportunity to really explore the new challenges and begin applying those challenges that you developed in the previous levels of the path and completing them. Again, this has 1 compulsory element or 1 compulsory project followed by an elective project. So it's two components to this particular path. And then we get to the final path, which is final level in the path, which is, of course, demonstrating expertise. So this is where you actually really develop and you have much greater tasks at this level. So it requires you to have more ownership of the level and also the path. You're required to do a compulsory project as well as choosing an elective project. And these are a lot more time consuming. Before, you might have only had to do a 5 to 7 minute speech on a certain task where you learn in like level 1. But in level 3, you've started your storytelling. Level 2, understanding your communication style. Level 4, you might have done a blog, you might have done an online meeting, you might have a Q&A session. But in level 5, we're looking at a little bit different and a little bit higher level of expertise here. So for example, a high performance leadership project, which is required in 3, as I pointed out, 3 of the projects or the 3 of the paths. And also maybe you need to be a professional speaker or understanding and being a volunteer in your organization. So sometimes these projects may take up to 6 to 12 months to complete. And I just want to emphasize that depending on the task that you are completing. So we do need to point that out. It's not about rushing, it's about actually making most of the experience and developing what you learn inside the circle and pushing it outside of the circle. Again, a reminder, effective coaching, innovative planning, and persuasive influence are the compulsory high performance leadership project paths. So for the paths, it's where it is compulsory to deliver in. Now, one of the requirements or one of the requests for tonight was to focus on certain projects so that I can actually give you some sort of like real life experience and how they've actually affected me. First one is high performance leadership project. I just want to get a thumbs up or a raise hands or some emoji reaction. Who has completed the high performance leadership project in level 5? Just so that I can see and have a look on the screen. Yep, I can see a few people are actually starting to put their thumbs up and say, yes, I have started this or I'm going to complete it. Now, I've tried to simplify this because it is quite a written task of what is required for this project. So you need to develop a project plan, organize a guidance committee, you implement the plan with the help of a team, usually 2 to 3 people, and share an aspect of your experience in completing this project at your club. Now, there are 2 speeches required in this, and you deliver those at the club level. The first speech is about sharing your plan and vision for your project. Once you have completed your project, then you deliver speech 2. So you share your plan, the goals, and experience in completing the project. Now, the high performance leadership project is not something that you rush. It's something that you really take your time, you grasp, you understand, and you want to make change. You want to do something that will have an impact to whether it be the Toastmasters Club or some sort of event that you're going to be delivering at, or even some community project. So take your time with this. Don't rush it. It doesn't take a week to do. It could take from 6 to 12 months. Take the time to really understand and to really add value to your Toastmasters experience. The next one is a little bit different, and this is the DTM project. It's the final part to complete your Distinguished Toastmaster Award in Pathways. I'm not going to go through all the requirements to become a Distinguished Toastmaster, but I wanted to touch on this because I think it is important. A lot of people get confused with it. So it's about planning and completing a project which benefits an organization or something in Toastmasters. So you, again, like the High Performance Leadership Project, you develop a team and you design a plan. And again, you're going to need 2 or 3 people, maybe even more, to be on your guidance committee. So you organize the project and you lead your team to complete it. Have the team members provide a 360-degree evaluation on your leadership skills. Again, 2 speeches are required. The first one is to share your plan, and the second one is to share the project, the outcomes, the benefits, and the lessons learned. Now, this is from my own experience of having done a high performance leadership project twice under the old system. You don't need to pass it. I just want to emphasize that it's not about passing, it's about making sure that you learn and develop the skills of growth and leadership and how you can learn from failure. And trust me, I failed my first one. I failed my first high performance leadership project. And you know what? It was the best thing that ever happened, because I went back 2 years later and completed another one, and it was a huge success. So it was the lessons that I learned from the first failure that I was able to apply to the second lessons in the next high performance leadership project that I was able to overcome and actually deliver better. And I became better for it. I became better as a leader from failing the first time and being able to apply those lessons for the second high performance leadership project. So it's not about winning a race, it's about learning and the lessons learned. The next one that I want to focus on is introduction to mentoring. And I think this is something that we do not do as well as we could in Toastmasters. So this is about defining how Toastmasters envisions mentoring, and also about sharing an aspect of you as an individual having experience of being a protege. Now, I just want to get a thumbs up or a raise of hands. How many of you have a mentor here? Just a reaction emoji. Yep, I'm seeing some hands. Excellent. I'm seeing the hands go up. Fantastic. So a lot of people get confused with this project and think it's about them talking about them as a mentor. In fact, it's not. This is the vulnerability that I was talking and telling members about at the beginning. We sometimes need to step outside of our comfort zone, step back and reflect on us when we've been in a difficult situation as a protege. So it's about talking about your experience as a protege and having your mentor lead and guide you through that situation. Now, one of the great parts about Toastmasters and the Pathways program is there is a Pathways mentor program. And this is the most underutilized program in all of Toastmasters. In fact, we think it is one of the best kept secrets. And tonight, I really want to encourage all of you, when you get from certain levels, to please, actually it's after level 2, not level 3, that you can unlock this wonderful program. And we encourage all of you to get involved with this, because everyone deserves to be mentored, and everyone deserves to be a mentor, and everyone deserves to be guided through this wonderful experience, which is, of course, Toastmasters and Pathways. I'm going to focus on the other 3 programs, or the other 3 levels or speeches that I wanted to focus on were understand your communication style, your leadership style, and active listening. Again, these are underutilized and they're not performed as well as they could. So with understanding your communication style, it's about the various different communication styles and identifying what your primary style is as a communicator. So you have to respond to a questionnaire that Toastmasters International puts in Pathways, and you go through that questionnaire and you determine, am I a direct communicator? Am I an initiating communicator? Am I supportive, or am I analytical? One of these 4 will be your particular style, and how you actually deliver that is based on the impact of your style on others. You might want to share this as an experience, I guess, depending on your experience in the workplace, in a Toastmasters meeting. If you're a leader in Toastmasters, how you work with your team. So that's how you would understand your communication style. The next one is understanding your leadership style. And again, like understanding your communication style, it's in level 2, and it's actually compulsory in a lot of these projects. So please make sure to watch and to look at the screen when you're doing this. Again, it's about the various differing leadership styles and responding to the questionnaire. Am I affiliative? Am I coaching? Altruistic? Democratic? Pace setting? Bureaucratic? Authoritative? Or am I initiative? Sharing the impact. Now, what I did for that particular role or for that particular speech was my role as a division director, public relations manager, also inside my workplace. So really thinking about how your style of leadership impacts and influences other. Now, the final one that I really wanted to touch on was active listening. And a lot of people get this particular project wrong. They don't understand how it should be delivered. So it's about demonstrating your ability to listen during table topics as the table topics master. So think about this. As the table topics master, you're the MC. And when you're an MC in professional life, in a real life scenario, you have to be able to segue between each speaker. And that's what this particular task requires you to do. So it's about providing short comments, making sure you're listening to each speaker and what they say, and using some feedback from each speaker, pulling it in, and then being able to contrast it between each speaker and go from one speaker to the next and marry it up beautifully and be able to really pull that off. The purpose is to be able to segue naturally between each speaker and connect them together. It's not to provide feedback to each of the speakers, but to use a snippet of what they've provided in their table topic to go between each speaker. So that's what the active listening project is all about. Now, I wanted to give some DTM and high performance leadership project ideas. So these were some of the ideas I actually came up with today. First one, and our club grief director is probably going to absolutely love me for this one. Okay, it's to, and so will Arjan, Mr. Sundaraj. So to rewrite the entire Pathways program into one of the following languages. Now, Bengali, Hindi, Kannada, I am going to slaughter this. Malayalam, did I say it right? I don't know how to say it. I'm really sorry. Persian, Punjabi, and also Telugu. Is that how you say it? Telugu? Hopefully that's right. If you look at the number of people in the world globally that speak these languages, oh my gosh, we have huge opportunities here. This could potentially create new clubs in Toastmasters, not only in District 121, but around the world. And it also supports the opportunity of our district mission. And the district mission is we build new clubs and support all clubs in achieving excellence. Imagine if we could start a club in every single one of these languages, we might meet the quota of getting Smedley distinguished. That's just a hint. It also gives an opportunity for someone to lead a team to write an entire Toastmasters Pathways program in one of these languages. Now, Kannada is spoken in your district from memory, and also the M language, Malayalam, I think that's how you say it. Yes, and that as well as Hindi. Think about it, 615 million people around the world speak Hindi. That's the third most populous language globally. So that is huge, and this is huge information. So I'm going to put out the challenge. Let's get someone from this district who speaks Kannada fluently and can actually write the whole of Pathways for their language in Kannada. I think that would be an opportunity, and to start 1 or 2 new clubs in the next 12 months. Challenge put to you guys. Challenge accepted. Sajid, you are the man. Thank you. All right, some other ideas for a DTM and high performance leadership project. Division conference, contest chair, and I would suggest with additional activities such as lunch, dinner, keynote speakers, and educational workshops. A district conference chair with the subcommittee chair roles as well. So the subcommittee could probably have a high performance leadership project or a DTM project as well. Creating a robust mentoring program within your club environment. creating a mentoring program at the district level for district leaders. So each of the district leaders from division director up are required to have a mentor, and they work with that mentoring partnership. Creating an open house meeting, and this is something the Americans do exceptionally. They are probably the best in the world at this. District 49 Hawaii is the #1 in the world for this, with a target towards club growth over a certain period. I would suggest 6 months, and targeting the membership awards like Smedley Award, Talk Up Toastmasters, and Beat the Clock. Educational workshops in your local community, the business and jobs. Local or overseas community project. Now, someone in Australia did this one, build a community library, so that people in disadvantaged area could get books for free. I thought it was a wonderful idea. Building a school in a developing nation. These are some ideas. A corporate summit on building new Toastmasters clubs in a corporate environment. Probably completing this over 3 quarters, or completing 3 of these, over a period of 12 months, targeting non-Toastmasters for corporate clubs. Now, I just want to go through some of the other pathways, projects, and uses. Level 3, prepare for an interview. An example of this that you could use in the real world experience would be to use this to rehearse an upcoming job interview you may have, or promotion at work that you may have with your manager. Level 3, deliver social speeches, and like level 3 for prepare for an interview, you could deliver the social speeches. There's 2 in this project that you need to complete. So you could do it for a speech for a wedding as a groom, bride, bridesmaid, or groomsman, to just speak in honor and praise of the situation. Your husband and wife, or the best man might want to praise his best friend. Use this project also to develop a speech for a funeral where you may be asked to provide a reflection on an individual who has passed away. Again, in level 3, creating effective aids, visual aids. Use this project for an upcoming presentation you may have at work to win a tender, or for a community project in a volunteer role. The next one is level 4, building a social media presence. This is huge, folks. This is one of the best kept secrets in Toastmasters in Pathways. You could use this to influence yourself and to become a social media influencer or a viral blogger. There's a lot of money out there to be made by becoming a social media influencer. Level 4, managing online meetings. You could use this to manage a meeting on Zoom, MSN Teams, etc., where you can gain the confidence and then use that to run your next weekly team meeting for work. Level 5, moderate a panel discussion. You could use this to discuss or create a panel discussion for an influential group, leadership group at work, or for the World Champions of Public Speaking. I'm using this project in 2 weeks to have a panel discussion for the World Championship of Public Speaking with a world champion and finalists from across the world for 45 minutes. Level 5, prepare to speak professionally. You can use this to learn how to write a speech for a keynote at work or for a client. Also helps with the longer speeches for TEDx. TED and the TEDx talks usually go up to 18 minutes. Or if you're looking to become an accredited speaker in Toastmasters, to learn how to become an accredited speaker to get up to the 25 to 45 minute mark. These are just some ideas for you all. Now I'm going to stop the share, and we're now going to have questions, Q&A. Mr. Samath, I'm going to hand over to you so that we can go through the Q&A session.
Yes, definitely. So as we're going to follow the same drill, right? So anybody who has any questions, please raise your hand or drop a message directly. Would bring your question to Alicia's notice. So anybody having any questions, please do raise your hand or ask us a question to the chat box. I think all of us are extremely excited by the challenges that you've given at us. I can still see people say they're accepting your challenge. So.
I really do like that. I am absolutely blown away that people are going to accept that. I think Arjan is going to be beside himself with excitement. This could lead to something for Toastmasters International. We will have to write to them to let them know and present it to them. But I think this is an opportunity that should not be missed. And I think it is something that this district really could pilot and to push to Toastmasters imagine the opportunities that could happen from this.
Definitely, definitely. So if any of you have any questions regarding pathways, okay, so we already have a question here. Okay. So the person says, I don't like pathways. Is that right to change? What is the best course?
So I'm assuming that they don't like the path that they have chosen.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
depending on what has happened, if you have started your actual projects, unfortunately, you cannot hand it back. You have to continue. So once you open and decide to start the projects, unfortunately, you are technically stuck with that particular path. But what I would suggest, it's only $20 US, buy another path so that you can keep both of them and really work between both of them. That would be my suggestion. If you haven't started the path, I think you get about 90 days before expiry, and then unfortunately you're going to be left with that particular path. If you're not happy with it, for example, you might not want to do leadership development, and then you end up with wanting to do presentation mastery because you feel that it is of greater benefit for you. I would suggest maybe sending it, you've got to send an email to Toastmasters International and then ask for presentation mastery. And it usually takes about 24 to 48 hours for it to change.
Oh, all right, all right. I hope that answers the question. We have Toastmaster Gurunath Kulkarni. Toastmaster
Hi,
Gurunath.
yes, very good evening, Alicia. Thanks for giving a wonderful session on this pathways explorer of all these details. My question is, how much generally the time will take from completing from L1 to L5, L1 to L5, and it's a completely depends on the people's potentiality and the experience and the hungerness to complete that one. But what is the tentative time the people will take? Based on your experience, how much? 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, how much? I remember 2 years also people are not able to complete those one. So what is your thoughts on this? How much generally the standard tentative time to complete the one level?
Okay, so usually it depends on how many clubs there's so many factors to consider with this. I was a member previously of 10 clubs. I'm only in 2 clubs now because I have too much to focus on. But because I get invited all around the world, it can take me only 1 month to complete a whole path. So I just want to point that out. This is not going to be the norm for everyone else, and I don't expect it to be the norm for anyone else. And I don't expect you to rush through pathways. I would say 6 to 12 months for if you are going at a steady rate to complete levels 1 to 5, so 1 complete path.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I think I saw Arati. Is it Arati?
Yeah, thank you, Arati. That's me. Thank you, Alicia. It was a wonderful and very comprehensive, very beautifully put presentation. My question is, we have different level of speakers joining Toastmasters Club. Some entry level, some good speakers. Now, when we help them choose their path, they do not want to take the presentation mastery, or they want to go for dynamic leadership, even though we know that they're struggling with speaking. So as a VP, should we suggest that they start with presentation mastery, which I feel is the first step that any Toastmaster should take, especially if they are not comfortable speaking? What is your take on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my professional recommendation on this is always to do presentation mastery if that is what they want to focus on. So presentation mastery, and if they're also wanting to do communication track, humorously, the engaging humor. If they are more focused on leadership, it's leadership development. So being really specific and asking the questions when you have the guests convert from guest to member. This is where you really need to be as a VPM, depending if you're a VPM and a VPE, having this communication with the member or the guest to member. So making sure you understand what their goals and what they want to achieve in their professional life and also in Toastmasters. Having that communication will be able to help you in assessing and determining what path is relevant for that particular member. I just noticed that we've got a red light, and I'm just going to answer one of the questions in the chat before I hand over to Samath. The question is, Will the CC make a comeback? Absolutely not. It's gone. It's been gone for 5 years. We need to get over it. And I'm just going to be really blunt and Aussie here. You need to get over it and need to move on. It is not coming back. It is now pathways. And that is our educational system. We don't say pathways. Our educational system now includes pathways. So it is here to stay. It will not be coming back. It's been here for 5 years. We won't be having competent communicator. I know a lot of people miss it. However, it is not making a comeback. Thank you.